So, how been ya? Welcome to the Black Country Craftsman's YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please subscribe. Smash us a like. Your support is much appreciated. So let's crack on with the rest of the video. This video is part 14 of the house renovation playlist where I've purchased a 2-bedroom house to renovate for the rental market. If you'd like to find out more advice on renting houses and the things to look out for before you buy one, check out my other video, the Buy to Let Guide. So let's crack on and pick up where we left off. In the last episode, I just finished the fitting of the extractor fan where I connected all the ducting to make the fan operational. I fitted all the door handles and the plinths, so the kitchen is now complete. We're now ready to start decorating the whole house. Now, looking at fitting this windowsill. I've cut it down roughly, so we have roughly around 50mm overhang. So it's all marked up and ready to cut. Again, simply I'll put the one section right up against the edge, marked it there, which was roughly around 104mm. Halve that, which was 50, 52, so 52mm in there, 52mm in there, and then measure from there to the edge of the beading, which got that measurement there. So I'm going to remove that section, and we're looking then to fit it. All cut down and ready to fit. Now there's a few ways that they do fit windowsills, from hidden brackets underneath. Obviously we can't do that as it's already been plastered. There's cases where people have put screws through the face. Now the downside to that is over a period of time, the circles that you do cut out where they countersink the screws, you start to see a circle pop up where the filler starts to detach itself from it. So I tend not to do that with the windowsills. It will be as simple as what we did with the upstands, just various blobs of silicone adhesive and just sit it down onto the plaster. Now when you caulk and tidy up all around the edges, that's another area that seals and holds the sill in as well, so it will be secure enough by doing it this way. I place the windowsill in position and always make sure that you are level. With the level going across, for me it is more important to make sure that you get the gaps the same, as there's no point having a perfectly placed windowsill that's perfectly level if the window is slightly out. So always make sure you try and do it to the eye, and those gaps look pretty equal. Also as well, most important that you get it level going that way, as if you don't, any condensation or any water might be on the sill will literally gravitate and go to the back. So always try and make sure everything's all leveled up. So that's another job we got ticked off the list. Looking at the kitchen now, it's now going to be a case of prepping for painting and starting painting the kitchen, I think, first, as we've still got the floor to lay. So yeah, the kitchen and also the lounge will be the first two that we'll be looking at painting. Firstly, as you can see, I've sanded all the walls back and the ceiling where there's been really rough areas where old existing paint. As you can see, there's a couple of different colours there, from a cream to a green. I've sanded all that back using one of these sanding pads. These have got an Ambronet pad on that's hooked up to a vacuum cleaner where the dust sucks up through. Really good. Started off quite coarse in some areas where I've actually used an 80 grit pad, sanding pad, and a 120 as well. As you can see, it has been quite rough. Now I plan to start to fill all the areas that are concaved. Okay, we're all filled now. Ceiling's all filled. And now we're going to start to paint. Okay, I've given the ceiling and the walls initial first coat. I've also as well give the bare plaster, it's what's called a wash coat, which is a watered down version of the paint that you must apply to fresh plaster. A mist coat, a wash coat is what that's called. Little problem over here, you can see that there's been some sort of leak and that stain keeps on bleeding through. What we'll need to do with that is to put a stain blocker on the paint. I'm not going to go into much detail on what to do with that. I have got another video where it explains how to deal with stains and stain blocking and painting over the stain blocking. So if you do have this problem, please check that video out. Walls are now all being painted, and everything's looking a lot better. I'll be moving on now to prepping the lounge and painting the lounge. Before I start to gloss it all, I plan to do all the preparation. I've circled a lot of the areas that need attention. So yeah, starting prepping in the lounge now, and probably the rest of the house. Give the rest of the house the same sort of treatment painting wise that I have the kitchen. Shan't go into too much detail about the painting. If you need anything more detailed about painting and prepping and things like that, I have got a video on painting if you want to check that out, that goes into a little bit more detail, but no, I shan't go into too much detail regarding that, and you'll have a quick look hopefully when we're all finished. All patched up, just needs to be painted now, ready for the new lights to be fitted. As you can see, I've moved the hole and reattached the old light. Ceiling has all been done in here, and the walls have been prepped. Now this one, ceiling has been sanded, and give the coats, a couple of coats on the walls, and the windowsill is prepped, ready to paint. So the only thing left in this one is a little bit of glossing, and this one is the rear bedroom. As we move into the front bedroom, it's always handy to try and get someone to help you at this stage. All the help you can get is always handy. Come on mate, put your back into it.
What?
Kids, eh? So yes, that's where we are. Down into the hall, ceiling prepped. Ceiling prepped in the lounge, and quite a bit of sanding's been done. So yeah, we get in there with the painting. Alright, this is something I haven't covered before, even on one of my other decorating videos. Anything wood like this, where you have bits where the paint's missing, obviously at the back there, I had to scrape all that out. Use a 2-pot wood filler on anything like this with the windowsills. So I'm going to fill that and prep that first, sand that back, and then areas like this where you've got gaps, very thin gaps in between the window. If you try and fill that, the filler will crack and start to drop out over a period of time. So what I tend to do with that is I cork it with decorator's cork, which is a flexible filler. What I tend to do when I put the filler on, I get a nice smooth filler knife and literally go up like that, and literally just with a spraying a little bit of water, and it gets a nice flat finish on that sort of thing. And because it's flexible, it tends not to crack and drop out. I've gone all the way around with some 2-pot filler and sanded it all back, and gone all the way around with some cork. Typically that section there where it's quite clean and tidy, spray a bit of water, wipe it off with your finger, rub it over with a sponge. Nice clean finish. With those areas that I mentioned, with the gaps, nice clean flat filler knife. As you see, you can get a nice finish doing that. It's flexible, and fingers crossed it won't crack.
Now, the electrician has chased out the wall and fitted his cable for the plug in the fireplace.
The word for people that are stood waiting for buses and trains. The word is twirly, you know, like a chocolate bar, but it helps them say it in a Scouse accent, so twirly. Now, the reason is that when I was growing up, so there was a bus stop near my mum and dad's house.
So I fitted a button to the side and set it so an MDF panel fits flush with the plastered wall. I fitted a back box to the board and pulled the cable through in readiness for the electrician to fit the socket. Another problem I came across was this poorly fitted window board. As you can see, it's sloping towards the window and needs replacing.
Okay, right, I've cut and fitted a new window board. Quite simply, just all I've done is use the old existing one and cut the profile out on a new one and placed it in position. Again, because I haven't been able to get any fixings underneath and I don't like screwing above, what I have done, as you can see, I've put holes to the left, in the middle, on the far side, wedged it up level, and then with expandable foam, pumped it full of expandable foam. It's just started to set, and it's solid, so it's not going to go anywhere. Just need to plaster patch all around the edges where I've damaged some of the trim. So yeah, that's another job that's done. Going back to this board is now all fitted and filled, where the electrician has chased the wire out from this socket to get power to that switch. Do need to change that switch at a later date to a switch socket, where that's a non-switch socket, so it's permanently on. That will be for the fire, as and when we do the floor and the fireplace. Again, just needs a little bit of a sand and tidy up, and then that will be ready to paint. Now we've got this done, I can start looking at decorating the lounge. The electrician has been, as I said earlier, put some nice new lights up, and he's got the underlights working underneath the kitchen now. Those look really good. He's put a couple of new lights, new light fitting in the lounge. Again, nice new light fitting in the hallway and on the landing. He's also done the smoke detectors, very important, fitting the smoke detectors, and also I've got the carbon monoxide heat one in the kitchen. New light on the landing, that's been fitted, and also as well I've got a nice new fan in the bathroom. So that's completed all the electrical work. You'll need to come back at some point to do all the testing, so you can give me a cert to say I'm safe to rent it out. Right, I've started to decorate the landing area in an almond white, which is like a beige colour. What I've started to do, I started to sand little imperfections in the wood with some sandpaper. Unfortunately, I found that the gloss work that has been done hasn't had an undercoat, and it's literally starting to peel off. So it's looking out. Now, unfortunately, I'll have to start sanding all the woodwork back with an orbital sander. Not particularly pleased, but it's one of them things, if I don't do it now while it's in this state, the tenants, when they move in, they'll start knocking the woodwork and it'll look a mess. So while it is in this condition, I might as well go back, strip the paint as best I can and start again. This is what you get. Gloss in with no undercoat. This one's downstairs. Again, prime example of a nightmare situation. What I think they've done is, if you can see the colour difference, that's the original colour, it's quite firm. Possibly maybe a coloured wall paint that they've decided to paint the doors with. It's caused massive problems, but we soldier on and see if we can scrape it all off. Right, all the walls are now painted, and as you can see, we're all prepped with the gloss in now. Scraped all the gloss off that needed to come off. Same as the lounge. All decorated
painted. Now this staircase, as it's been stained, will take multiple coats to cover, and it's so important that you use something like this. Now this is a Zinza product that's specially designed for covering things that have been stained or varnished. Otherwise you may end up with the same situation as I did with the gloss, where the paint just flakes and peels off. So it's very important that you get some good base undercoats regarding your stairs. So there we have it. What a difference a lick of paint can make from that dark stained staircase. All the doors, skirting, everything's glossed. Gleaming new window board, looks lovely. Lick of paint on the radiators as well. Just again, quick go over this staircase. Anything stained, we used that Zinza product as an undercoat. Then I used some acrylic quick drying undercoat, a couple of coats of that so you can't see anything grinning through. And then to top it off, we had some satin wood, which dries a nice sheen rather than a gloss, and doesn't yellow so much as an oil-based gloss does. Again, coming up the stairs. Doors. All done. We're starting to take shape now, and we're on the final stretch of getting it finished. As all the painting's now done upstairs, we need to try and finish things off upstairs so we can get the carpet laid. Last thing I need to do is have the carpet laid and to start making all the mess again. What we've got there, the cable that runs up the stairs, I've managed to chip it into the post, so that needs to be redecorated, so that'll be hidden rather than having that cable going from underneath there. I've chipped it in and hid it into the post and two-part filled it, so it goes from one section into the other. Also, I've run the cable running right the way across. I've chipped into the skirting board there, so that will be hidden. Same into the wall. I'll put a couple of pieces of filler in there just to hold it in position. The reason I haven't completely filled all that yet is I plan to have these grotty old sensors changed. So until those are changed, I won't be filling in that cable or redecorating. So that's a job for a little bit later.
So join me on the next one, where I will be fitting a U-shaped shower curtain rail, a laminate floor to the lounge, and a completion of the rear garden. Okay, if you've enjoyed this video, smash us a like, drop us a comment, and if we can help you, we will. And please subscribe to give us a little support. Also, please check out our other videos, as we've got quite a few out now. You may find something that might just help you out in the future. I'm the Black Country Craftsman. Don't forget to tell your muckers. Learning how to fix these problems yourself is cheaper than paying someone else to do it for you. Thanks for watching.